Happy Man. Yeah. All right, I can do that. So, funny story with this one. I'll give you the quick version of it. It's the band was over in France. We were playing a line dancing festival in France, and yeah, it was actually it was a lot of fun. We did it for a couple years in a row, and so at the end of the trip, they gave us a room in Paris, and on the night before we flew out, and it was like a Tuesday night in Paris, and we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do. And I thought Paris was one of those towns that was like New York, that never sleeps. But turns out Paris sleeps on Tuesday night. They just they go hard on the weekends, and then they close down on the weekdays. So there was nothing going on in Paris in June on a Tuesday night, and so we start looking for something. There's only one thing happening at 9 o'clock at night, and it was this bar, and it sounded really cool and kind of had this vibe to it, like this place does. And we heard music coming out of there, and we walked over and walked in, and it turns out it was a Croatian bar, and they were doing old Croatian folk songs, and everybody in there knew them, and they had their big, liter beers, and they're doing this and singing all the songs, and I thought, man, this is it. This is why you travel, right? To see this stuff. It was just so much fun, and we sit down at the bar. Bartender starts talking to us, and he asks what we're doing there because we're not Croatian, obviously, and so we tell him, and he asked my name, and then he just kind of disappeared. And then next thing I know, what he had done is he went in the back and he pulled up Spotify, and he looked me up, and he replaced the Croatian music with me in this bar in Paris, and it sounds cool, but it wasn't at all. Because it turns out when you just randomly hit somebody on Spotify and you don't know who they are, you just start playing it. It plays the most popular songs first, and I guess my most popular songs are the saddest, most depressing country songs that you can think of. And so it was just one after another of just, oh man, it was just sad. And after about two songs, I looked around, and what had been this raging party 10 minutes ago was just cleared out. Everybody was on the patio. Nobody was in there anymore. It was just sad. It like turned the whole mood. And I'm all for. I love sad country songs, and I grew up with them. I love them. I love writing them, but not in a Croatian bar. You know what I mean? And so I was like, man, if this is what people think about me, if I heard this guy, I would think he's very sad. He's a very sad guy, and so I said, I'm going to go home and I'm going to write a song that tells the world how happy I am. And I did. I wrote this song, and it's called Happy Man. The problem is, it sounds like a very sad, depressing country song. So I didn't really accomplish my objective there, but it says what I wanted to say anyway. If I died today, I died a happy man who lived and loved and sang. I've had a life I used to dream of. I wouldn't trade too many things. So don't cry too much for me. I lived till I was too old to die young. Know that I went out at ease, happy with a song I've sung. Well, I'm as proud as a dad can be, and I married my best friend. Together we have seen the world. I made music with the band. If I died today, I died a happy man who lived and loved and sang. I've had a life I used to dream of. I wouldn't change too many things. Don't cry too much for me. I lived till I was too old to die young. Know that I went out at ease, happy with the song I've sung. Well, I've had good times with old friends, and we laughed the night away. And I've had the love of a family, and I felt it every day. If I died today, I died a happy man who lived and loved and sang. I've had a life I used to dream of. I wouldn't change too many things. Don't cry too much for me. I lived till I was too old to die young. Know that I went out at ease, happy with the song I've sung. Know that I went out at ease, happy with the song I've sung.